Hi everybody. So this is the first video dealing with the left wing leading edge. Although before we start on that, I'm having to do a couple of minor tasks on the top skins, which I didn't realize until watching this video. This is what I'm doing. So one of the last instructions, a couple of things that you do for the top skins is you countersink the number 19 holes for number 8 screws. That's on the inboard side. Yeah, inboard side. We'll go with that. Word of caution though, so your standard countersink, number 19 countersink, won't actually fit in the hole because it's made for a screw, not for big round plug, which is what the front of those countersink bits are. So you're going to need to use a smaller countersink. I've got one for number 30. That's the one I used. Fits in perfectly fine. You just got to make sure you're kind of centered up, so you just start very slowly. And then once you know you've got a good seat, you can increase the RPM in your drill. Just make sure you stay on center when you do it. And of course, test fit your number 8 screw afterwards. And then after that, the very last thing which you see me doing here is actually riveting on the outboard aileron bracket, hinge bracket. And so anyway, now we're starting on the leading edge. Leading edge isn't really that difficult. It pretty much is nothing more than a version of the tank. Exact same process, only you don't have to worry about a back plate. You don't have to worry about attached brackets and all that. It's just ribs and a skin and one stiffener. And it's pretty simple. It's almost identical to actually doing the tank. So going to go through each one of the ribs and deburr. Oh, okay. No, sorry. Hold that thought. So these leading edge ribs go all the way to the spar. Well, as you know, the spar is made up of a bunch of different pieces of metal, including 2 rods of aluminum that are stepped down as it goes out over the wing. What you need to do is you need to take a couple of those ribs and then cut out like the corners so that when you fit the ribs against the main spar, it takes into consideration for that step down aluminum piece. Which I just use a bandsaw and cut them straight out. Works perfectly fine. So, just like every other chapter, we're just going to start by deburring the rib itself. And then we're going to go ahead and flute. So I don't flute until after I'm done deburring, because as you know, trying to deburr while you've got a fluted edge, very much of a pain in the butt. So I'm starting with the hand deburr tool. I'm doing all the long edges, and I believe there's 3 of them on this one. Oh, 4, sorry. There's the back, and then the top side, which is cut into 2 pieces by the J channel cutout, and then the bottom, which is all one. So I start with that, and then I go through with the hand file, and I do all of the actual flange edges, and then I do the front flange edges, and while I'm at it, I go ahead and I buff the front flanges, just like in the tank. If you don't want any faceting of your leading edge skin because of where the front flanges are, you need to kind of round the front edge. And once you get into a pattern of doing that, it's not that bad. It's 7 ribs total. I think I deburred them all in a couple hours maybe. And of course I made sure to go through and number each one of them. And like the tank, they all just won't be left or right ribs. There's going to be a left, there's going to be right. It's mostly lefts, and there's a right at the end cap, and then of course there's a specialized rib at the inboard side, which we will talk about in a bit. Anyway, just going to keep deburring these, and then I believe we continue that in the next video. So I will see you soon.